Good afternoon, everyone. I didn't know what time it was there. And welcome to Corona Cuppa with Michelle, day 4. When I thought about doing this on Sunday, and I keep saying this every day, don't I? On Sunday, I don't think I could have imagined that we'd be where we are today. I think for all I had an idea that schools would be shutting, I didn't think they'd be locking down London and cordoning off London by shutting down all of the tube stations and everything. So, yeah, the world is continuing to go crazy, isn't it? So just give me a sec. I'm just putting myself on my phone so I can see comments and things. But please do give me a like so I know you are here. What I want to talk today to you about is something really specific. I've come on every day and given you a bit of lightness, told a story, shared a tweet. Hello, Nina, thank you for joining me. But today is something specific, and it's related to Durham businesses and Durham business owners, because that's where I live and that's where my business is based. However, if you are not in Durham and you are in Northumberland or Newcastle or Gateshead, or you're elsewhere in the country, please listen in, because you might pick up advice from today that you can use to contact your MP and your council. Tomorrow, I have got a call with Richard Holden, who is the MP for Durham, and I will be on that call with Mint Business Club, Valued Accountancy, and the Do Business Network, DBN. Now, I'm guessing Richard won't have much time to talk to us, because I'm sure he has been pulled from pillar to post at the moment. I'm assuming he's well too, and he's not in self-isolation. But he's going to have a lot of pressures on his time, but he has agreed to talk to us. So let's say we get 10 minutes and I'm on the call with the people from the other companies and organisations. I'm not going to have very long to get my questions over. But I really want to do you proud. I want to make sure that the questions you have about what funding is coming, about when it's going to come, about what's going to happen for your employees, are you going to have to make redundancies if you can't pay your rent and you're in a commercial rented property, not a business property. My office, I rent it from the council. A commercial landlord's going to be more lenient with accepting late payments, knowing that the funding is coming. All of these questions, whatever you've got, I want you to ask them. And I don't care if I get 100 of the same question. That shows that 100 local businesses have the same concern. And then what I will do today, and I'll keep the questions coming today, tonight, tomorrow, I will compile them all into a blog and into a letter. So the blog is public and the letter goes off and it's there in Richard's office, and we're saying, we, the business owners of Durham, we want answers to our questions. And do you know, I totally get that the council might not have the answers yet. So the rates related grant that you will get, by all accounts, if you have premises but you don't pay rates, you will get a grant, and that's going to help cover your rent, etc. That is going to be launched in early April. So we're still only on the 19th of May. And if that's launched in early April, and then it has to come through the councils, through their revenue and benefits teams, usually that's the sort of team that deals with rents and rates, I think. But what if they haven't got the staff? What if their staff are poorly? What if their staff are in self-isolation, and not just for 2 weeks, but a full 12 weeks if they're an at-risk group? What if the money comes from government to our council and they physically don't have the capacity to get it out to us? I would say, like, oh Christ, that's scary, but thank you for being honest with us. And if they then say, look, we're going to struggle to get it out to you, but those of you who are tenants in Durham offices, please don't worry. Also, we're working really hard with all of the private and commercial landlords within Durham City, out within the towns like Consulate and Bishop Auckland. We've got the connections. and they are going to be okay. Those of you who lease pubs, we've talked to the breweries, you know, and it's not just us, it's a lot of the other councils in the country as well. We're working together, we understand. I guess what I'm looking for on a personal level is a huge amount of honesty from our local government. I don't want them to give us the corporate line, the commercial line. I want them to speak to us like humans who are hurting, who are terrified. I want them to validate our concerns and not just give us the corporate spiel. And I'm really confident, I haven't met Richard yet, but he tweeted me and Mint and Valued and DBN last night and sort of said, you know, hi guys, really looking forward to chatting. And just that one line, hi guys, really looking forward to chatting, it felt human, it felt warm, it felt open. And that is really the response that, you know, I believe that we need going forward. We need honesty, even if sometimes, you know, being honest or saying we just really don't know yet isn't what we want to hear. It's better that we hear that and we can deal with it. So what questions do you have? I have a lot, but I don't necessarily, I'm quite happy to get the questions out on behalf of you, but I don't want to assume that I know what you want to ask. So please ask. You can ask in here on the video, or if you look back from just this morning on my page, I've written quite a lot about what I'm thinking. I very rarely share my business posts over to my personal Michelle Rose profile, but I have. So there, if you've got friends who've got businesses, please tag. From there, you can share into local groups, local Durham groups as well. All that I was asked is that if you're sharing into local groups, which would be great because it really gets the reach out there, and also we're going to get questions from a wider range of people that I maybe personally don't know, that I'm not connected to, and I know a lot of people, so it would be great to get out there. Please, when you share it, just ask them to come back to my original post and post their questions there, because if you share it into the group and they comment on your post, which has shared my post, if I'm not in that group, I'm not going to see. Even if I'm in the group, I might not get a notification. So it's really important that people come back here and ask their question here, either on this video or on the written post or over on my personal profile as well. I'm quite happy to accept comments on my personal profile. I can give you, and I am trying to give you, love, support, solidarity. I'm trying to give you a place where you can just go, shit. It's in my nature then to try and advise and support, and I'm sure some people like, Michelle, just shut up, I just need to drink wine and try and deal with this, and you're there like giving me advice. And I had Kieran going into the butcher's yesterday saying, tell the butcher to do this, and what if the butcher did that? And as it came to it, the butcher barely had any meat to do anything with, you know, to even sell, but it's in my nature to help. So I can care, support, advise, mentor, do as much of this as I can because I want to, but I can't give you the cash. And I can't tell you when the cash is coming. And I can't tell you who is eligible for the cash. I know some amazing, and I mean amazing, like VAT registered, 100 grand turnover businesses that are working from home, that are still working from spare bedrooms. And if they're not going to get any support other than maybe having to apply for the loan, which they might not want to do, but in this case, I think just sod it, probably do it. But if they can't get the rates relief, etc., and they've got a VAT bill due and then their cash flow, you know, they could be gone. And I also want to know, should businesses, should they be sitting tight? Should they be holding on? Should they be just sort of thinking, well, if we shut the doors and we have no customers and it's terrifying, it's okay because actually the bills don't need to be paid, but we're going to get we don't have to pay our staff because the government are putting their hands in their pockets and they're giving our staff some money. So we can just survive for a while and then come back to stuff once things hopefully start getting better. So yeah, this is all the stuff. I think I'm starting to go off on a tangent a little bit, so I'll bring it back. Nina says, I guess it's knowing what grants benefits are available for sole traders. Loans are okay, but people don't want to be straddled to debt when we come out of this. That's totally true, Nina. However, in this case, I sort of think it might be a needs must. And I know that the Chancellor did say that you wouldn't have to pay anything back for 6 months and the terms would be attractive. So who knows what attractive terms are? It could be, 0.5% interest, effectively you're getting it for free. It could be, I can't imagine they're going to loan to make a profit at the moment, but I think they want to lend so that people are invested in paying it back. They don't get a large loan and then 6 months down the line go, oh, sod it, I'm just giving up anyway, potentially. So I think there's that. We give you money, but you're invested, so hopefully you'll pay it back. My but with the loans is this, that the rates related relief is going to come out through your local authority, and they will contact you, because remember, they are going to need your bank details to be able to pay you your grant. Because if, like us, the local authority knows we're here, they know that we don't pay rates because we get small business rate relief, but because we don't pay rates, they don't have our bank details. So they cannot just pay us whatever our grant is going to be automatically. They are going to have to contact us, which is why the manpower, to me, I'm just thinking aloud here. This is just, how I'm seeing things, which is why the manpower and having the staff to be able to get the grants out is really important. The money sitting in the local authority's bank account isn't necessarily enough. They've got to be able to contact us, get our details, and then physically get it there. So coming back to the banks, when the loans are there and the loans are available, when the loans are there and the loans are available, they're probably going to be accessed through the high street banks. I'm sure there was a question when the Chancellor gave his address, and he said the loans will be dealt with by the high street banks. Me and Kieran set up a new business partnership bank account last week, and we went with Barclays. But the problem we had, they were great, but the problem we had on trying to get an appointment with the business bank manager, because yes, we have a Barclays branch in Concert, but there's one business bank manager who sets up the accounts, who works out of Durham, Concert, Bishop Auckland, Darlington. So it would appear that no longer do the high street branches have either a single business bank manager or a team of business bank managers. Back years ago, when I got my Prince's Trust loan, there was a dedicated team of business bank managers sort of there, right within Concert, who could support you. But obviously the banks have pulled out a lot of staff. So what are we going to do? Literally queue up outside of our bank to get an appointment, to go through all of the paperwork. How is it going to happen? Is it going to be online? Is it going to be a website? I guess I'm all about practicality, and this is the practical aspects of how do we get our hands on the much needed money? How can you reassure us that it's worth waiting, because we will definitely get it? And Kieran's just given me a note because he's listening in, and he said, I think with the loans, the government are going to need the money back at some point for economic reinvestment. They've effectively taken out a huge loan and they're giving it to us. By us paying it back, that's shown that, we're recovering from this and they can go on to invest it in other stuff. But that is about as much political insight as you're going to get from me. I've got an accounts degree, but I was never very good at the economics bit. I got the supply and demand curve, and then I just switched off after that. Nina said, the challenge of how do you work from home and look after the kids? Will we be compensated in some way from that? Great question, but I would say no, not at all. You're going to have to try and, work around it. Nina does PR and marketing like me. And I think, Nina, this is just my take on it. But I wanted to take Michelle Rose Marketing online and get all of my courses online. And I think right now is the wrong time to sell that. But when we're coming out of this, when we've gone up the curve and down the curve and we're starting to come out again, then that's maybe a good time for me and you to offer our support, to show people what they can do, to show them how to do their marketing and their PR. So we're just going to have to, you know, educate the kids, watch a bit of Netflix, get out in the garden and do exercise and chat to each other and support each other and make sure we've got those networks. Kate from Coco Mama has joined, and Coco Mama is a beautiful, beautiful new business here in Concert, where I live and work in County Durham, and it is amazing. And Kate is a mum and she's got a little girl and she's got this team of staff that work with her. It's her first foray into having a staff and premises and investing. And Kate, I can't imagine what you must be feeling at the moment. So this is why I want to talk to the MP, so that hopefully I can get that message of hold tight, sit tight. Okay, don't stress over having no customers. Don't stress over the doors being shut. Be at home with the little one. Make the most of that time and know that the money is coming and you will be okay. Your bills will be paid. Even if you've got no customers, your bills will be paid. You will be okay. And then we will all work together to help everyone reopen their doors, get the customers in, pick up their businesses. I mean, can you imagine everyone, if you've had to go into self-isolation for 12 weeks, can you imagine your hair and nails and your roots and hairy legs, and all people are going to be desperate to come out and have their hair cut and have their legs waxed, and hopefully people might even be going on holiday again, and they're going to want to look after themselves and treat themselves. So it will all come back. I don't know when, because that was a month. And then the A-levels and the GCSEs are cancelled, so that's May and June. And you're like how long are the kids going to be off school exactly? Because if they were only off till the Easter holidays or maybe a week or two after, then they'd be all right for their exams, I'm sure. So they're obviously planning schools to be shut a lot longer than after Easter if they're already cancelling the exams. But again, just my take. Please, I'm going to end now. Please, please, share this post far and wide within your Durham networks. Tag people, share it out, do whatever you can, because I don't just want it to be my voice tomorrow. I know that between me and Mint Business Club and Valued and DBN, we support hundreds, at least hundreds of small and medium-sized businesses. There are so many of you out there that I love and treasure, and you have been my life for the past 8 years, and I do not want to see you fail. I absolutely don't, but I also don't want to put words in your mouth. So please, please give me your questions. I'll get them, as many of them, over to Richard tomorrow. Then I'll get them on a blog. I'll get a letter that we can send out, and then we can keep nudging and nudging and nudging Richard, the council, Business Durham, to give us the answers, and to say, if you don't have the answers, then be honest with us. This is really a time for a new type of leadership, one of honesty, one that builds trust, and one that lets us all accept the situation we're in now with a level of pragmatism and hope also for going forward into the future. Any questions, as always, give me a shout. I did have my cup of tea, but I let it go cold. My cup today says, I'm so awesome, I poop rainbows. So I did say I'd give you some lightness every day. So there you go. All right. I love you all loads, and I'll speak to you soon. I will speak to you tomorrow. All right. Much love. Bye, guys.